Let's go Dolphins! The days are passing by too quickly, and before you blink, we'll be starting the 2025 season. But before we get there, the Miami Dolphins need to overhaul their main team. I hope with all my heart that Chris Grier is aware and efficient in what he's doing. In my opinion, he shouldn't have stayed. The Miami Dolphins deserve a GM who's up to his standards. If you agree with me that Grier should go, hit the like button hard. If possible, comment like this: "We want to see the Dolphins in the playoffs." Now, pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this could be a great opportunity for Mike McDaniel's team. The Miami Dolphins may be making a bold move this offseason, and it all revolves around star wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Over the weekend, Samuel officially requested a trade with the San Francisco 49ers, and now, speculation is heating up about possible landing spots. One of the most intriguing destinations? Miami. Given head coach Mike McDaniel's history with Samuel from their time together in San Francisco, there's a natural fit that could make this a reality. But does this move actually make sense for the Dolphins? Let's dive deeper into what's going on behind the scenes and what it could mean for Miami's offense. First, let's talk about how we got here. Samuel's trade request didn't come out of nowhere. There were rumors last year that the 49ers were considering moving on from him. In fact, during the 2024 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots reportedly held discussions with San Francisco about a potential deal that would have involved a second or third round pick. But now it's official. The 49ers have given Samuel and his agent permission to pursue a trade partner, meaning the team is open to making a move if the right offer comes along. So why is Deebo looking to leave San Francisco? It all comes down to his contract situation. Samuel has only one more guaranteed year left on his current deal, and he'll be 30 years old by the time he hits free agency. Instead of waiting and risking injury or a decline in production, he's looking for long-term security now. That's a big factor to consider for any team that trades for him. You're not just acquiring a player, you're also committing to a new contract extension, likely worth significant money. That brings us to Miami's potential interest. The Dolphins already have an explosive offense, featuring one of the most dangerous wide receiver duos in the league with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So why would they consider adding Samuel? The key reason is Mike McDaniel. During his time as the offensive coordinator in San Francisco, McDaniel played a huge role in utilizing Samuel's unique skill set, turning him into a hybrid receiver/running back weapon that defenses struggled to contain. In 2021, under McDaniel's system, Samuel posted ridiculous numbers: 1,400 receiving yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, plus another 8 rushing touchdowns on 365 rushing yards. He was simply one of the most dynamic players in the league. But that was 3 years ago. Fast forward to the 2024 season, and Samuel is coming off what many consider his worst year since his rookie season. His yards per game were at a career low, he had just 1 receiving touchdown, and his overall efficiency metrics took a dive. When San Francisco needed him to step up and help fill the void left by injuries to Christian McCaffrey and other running backs, Samuel's rushing production wasn't nearly as effective as in past years. There's a real concern that his best days are behind him. That's where the big question comes in. Would acquiring Samuel actually be worth it for the Dolphins? On one hand, if Miami could get him for a cheap price, it's an intriguing idea. Right now, most insiders believe the 49ers wouldn't be able to demand a high return for Samuel. A third-round pick might be the best they could get, and some believe it might even be a day 3 selection or a simple pick swap. For Miami, that means they could potentially land Samuel without giving up a premium asset. But even if the trade price is low, there's still the contract issue. Samuel isn't going to want to play out the final year of his deal without an extension. And for a player with his physical style of play, one that has taken a toll on his body over the years, that's a major risk. Giving him a multi-year contract at age 30, when his production is already showing signs of decline, could be a mistake. He's not the same young, explosive player he was a few years ago. He has a lot of mileage on his body, and history has shown that players with his level of physical wear and tear don't always age gracefully in the NFL. Then there's the question of fit. If the Dolphins did bring in Samuel, how would they use him? Would he return to his 2021 role as a do-it-all playmaker? Or would Miami have to adjust their offense to accommodate him? In theory, he could be used in a hybrid role alongside Hill and Waddle, but in reality, his skill set overlaps quite a bit with what Miami already has. The Dolphins already have speed, versatility, and playmaking ability at wide receiver. What they truly need are upgrades on the offensive line, defensive line, and secondary, not another wide receiver who's on the decline. That's why, despite the connection between McDaniel and Samuel, this trade is far from a sure thing. There are good arguments both for and against making a move, and the Dolphins front office will have to weigh those factors carefully. Would Samuel thrive in Miami's system and get back to his 2021 form? Or would this end up being an expensive mistake for a team that already has elite weapons in the passing game? What do you think, Dolphins fans? Should Miami pull the trigger on a trade for Deebo Samuel, or is this a move they should stay away from? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get the conversation going. And if anything changes, we'll keep you updated with all the latest Miami Dolphins news. One of the biggest concerns with bringing in Deebo Samuel is how his physical play style has affected his durability. Over the years, Samuel has taken on an unusually high workload for a wide receiver, often functioning as a part-time running back in Kyle Shanahan's offense. That versatility made him one of the most dangerous weapons in the league during his prime, but it has also resulted in a significant amount of wear and tear. Samuel has missed time in multiple seasons due to injuries, and at 30 years old, his ability to stay healthy moving forward is a real question mark. For the Dolphins, this raises an important dilemma. Would adding Samuel actually improve the offense, or would they be investing in a player who is already on the decline? If Miami were a team desperate for a playmaker, this trade might make more sense. But that's not the case. With Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle already in place, the Dolphins boast one of the most explosive wide receiver duos in the league. Hill is still playing at an elite level, and Waddle continues to develop into one of the best young wideouts in football. Adding Samuel to that mix could be exciting, but it could also be redundant, especially if the team has to sacrifice financial flexibility or future draft assets to make it happen. Then there's the question of offensive balance. Miami's biggest struggles last season weren't in the passing game, they were in the trenches. The offensive line remains an area of concern, particularly when it comes to protecting Tua Tagovailoa and establishing a reliable run game against top-tier defenses. Would using resources to acquire Samuel be the best way to improve the team? Or should those resources be allocated toward shoring up the offensive line, adding depth on defense, or even securing a long-term contract for a key player like Javon Holland? These are the decisions Miami's front office has to make as they navigate this offseason. Financially, there's also a big issue with Samuel's contract. As mentioned earlier, he's looking for a long-term extension. Based on the current market for wide receivers, that likely means a deal in the range of $13 to $15 million per season. For a player with his injury history and recent decline in production, that's a massive risk. The Dolphins are already committing significant money to Hill, and Waddle will soon be due for his own contract extension. Adding another expensive wide receiver into the mix could put the team in a difficult cap situation down the line. So what would a realistic trade package for Samuel even look like? Reports indicate that the 49ers are unlikely to receive a premium draft pick in return. A third-round pick might be the highest offer they get, but some analysts believe a deal could be structured as a simple pick swap, with the Dolphins sending a fourth-round pick in exchange for Samuel and a later-round selection from San Francisco. If the trade value is that low, it makes the move more tempting for Miami, but the financial commitment remains the bigger issue. Another factor to consider is Samuel's potential role in Miami's offense. So, Dolphins fans, what's your take? Would you roll the dice on Deebo Samuel and hope he can return to his 2021 form under Mike McDaniel? Or would you pass on this opportunity and focus on other areas of need? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue to monitor Miami's offseason moves.